Thank you all so much for speaking with me, either via text or emails, or those of you that actually met on the street, on the highway. I can't tell you how much it humbles me. Maybe it helps me to gain more confidence in these podcasts. It's not necessary to gain more, but it's important for me to produce to you my best in these discussions about resilience. And of course, the inspiration from what I put together in the book, Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, and in the previous hundreds of episodes. I'm really encouraged that hopefully I'm not pissing anybody off out there on the subject about resilience. Hopefully I am encouraging and providing new perspectives. As I said before, I guarantee to change your perspective on this present moment when you listen to these podcasts. I did kind of say tongue in cheek that I would change your life. Of course, I can't do that. But it was the preamble to saying I can guarantee to change your perspective on this present moment. But thank you all for joining me today. Today's topic is called communicate. Now, probably next 100 episodes, probably some smattering of references to the content and context of the book about those key topics that were salient to the construct and the concept of the book. And then hopefully these episodes will have to elaborate a bit in bite-sized pieces that you can take in your day in the audio form what was in the book that was essential. But of course, I can't sit here and read the book to you, but I want to distill from that book things that you might want to talk about more going forward, maybe through actual workshops or engagements with me. But if not, at least you're getting some snippets of what's in the book and where these topics for the podcast episodes are coming from. So today is about communicate. To me, we use a term a lot, but really don't talk about what it means or go a little deeper what it means in application. So you can say to communicate means to say something and someone says something back to you. That makes sense. But to me, it means to listen before you speak. To me, communicate means to listen before you speak. To yourself, to your higher power, to others. To me, those are the listening and breathing essential parts of communication. Anybody with a microphone or megaphone can broadcast something. Hopefully positive. It could be negative. It could be offensive. It could be encouraging. It could be anything. The question will come down to value and quality. Remember, my intent is to communicate the positive, the yes, and the love about the resilience that I believe we all share. But even before any public service announcement that no one asked to hear or receive, I think we should call in or reflect on the quality and the value of that statement. So I'm saying to breathe and listen first. And anytime you're having a communique or an exchange of words or something with you and another person or persons, you take in, yes, the air given to you. But you also take in the rest of your senses before you observe something to say. So maybe you go back in the archives of other episodes, I said this. Maybe sometimes words are unnecessary. But listening, akin to breathing for you, is absolutely critical. If you really, really want and need to communicate, anybody can talk. Anyone can be as eloquent or as elegant or as cool as they can be. Or it could be harsh and brass and offensive or confusing to you. But that's why a discipline of attentive listening is so essential to full communication. Communication doesn't mean and should not imply or assume a requisite banter between or amongst others. Doesn't have to be that way. Doesn't have to be A and then B and B and then A. Doesn't have to be that way. There is a grand usefulness in silence and peace, even between two friends or two lovers. Stick with me. Well before the advent of talking, we had the spiritual capacity and capability to communicate without words, or with a reliance on them. Your resilience permeates your presence. Your resilience permeates your presence. Well, it should. The beauty of your presence, where your resilience shines through, it's a good starting point on your journey. But as I have mentioned before, yes, a starting point for each day, for each moment, for you to breathe in and listen to. But after you do that, you have to produce something positive from that presence and to make it current, never backward or for tomorrow. See, your communication doesn't mean to keep talking and talking and talking. Put more effort and energy into listening each day as much as you breathe each day. Maybe that's a very tall order for you to consider now. But would you rather breathe and listen later? I don't think you want to do that. Breathing, keep in mind, I'll probably get into this in another episode, but you really don't breathe on your own. You don't breathe on your own. You don't listen on your own. Probably the opposite side. You tend to not listen to anything you don't want to hear. But I said, we'll close this one out today. We'll get into that. You don't really choose to breathe. You are choosing or not to listen. But today, I'm asking you to use those metrics, those parameters, and true communication to breathe first, listen first, and then communicate. Thank you once again. As always, stay present, stay current. Remember, it's still 8:20.